On the western edge of Krokul Ridge, between ancient pine roots and fallen boulders, lies a ravine avoided even by beasts. They call it the Ravine of Three Winds, not because of the wind itself, but because each gust carries a different voice. One like a mother's moan, another like the roar of an old bull, and the third, your own name, whispered too close. Local hunters avoided this place since childhood. But that summer, when yak cows started dying mysteriously, two young brothers set out with bows at dusk to lay an ambush. Only the elder returned, covered in dirt, hands torn, eyes full of terror, muttering only. He said, "I knew you." He could not explain what happened. Only whispered that the younger brother had turned toward the voice and walked deeper into the thicket. Just before he disappeared, his body stretched unnaturally tall, neck elongating like a stag's, and behind him appeared something like a crooked, pulsating totem. The elders burned the brother's belongings without opening the sack. They said, "The spirits took the name, so it must never be spoken again." But that night, the mother heard a knock. "It's me. Let me in. I'm cold." She opened the door. Until dawn. Now her hut is empty. On the ground by the threshold lie 3 streaks of ash and a raven feather pierced by a bone bead. And the ravine calls names once more. Along the southwest trail leading to Mother's Cliff, hunters began noticing fires burning darkly, as if burning not wood, but something resisting the flames. No smoke rose, neither upward nor sideways. It seemed to settle into the earth itself. Shaman Loran ordered everyone to stay away from the fires, but his apprentice, young Akrok, went there at night. He said he heard a call, not a voice or noise, but a sound like a totem cracking in deep frost. Thin, high, unearthly. He returned at dawn, alive, holding a coal in his palm. "It doesn't burn. It shows," said Akrok, and began drawing a symbol on the hut wall, jagged, sharp, like fractured ice, unlike any shamanic sign. When his teacher tried to stop him, the coal flared, not with light, but with darkness. Within the flare, a face flickered, human, yet seemingly made of ash. It moved like fire but stared like a living being. 3 days later, Akrok vanished. Only the same coal and a wall painted with his blood remained. "The fire was here before you." That night, a fire lit again beneath the shaman's sanctuary on the cliff. And again, without smoke. At first, they were rumors. Northern herders swore they saw their brother in the forest, standing distant among stone pillars. But when called, the figure turned and didn't blink. It stood as if unsure how. Then it walked into the woods with the grace of a cat, but on human feet. A week later, a herder did not return home. Found the body intact, no wounds, but the face was smooth, like a drum's skin. No eyes, mouth, or nose. Only a handprint on the neck, as if someone held him silently. Villagers began locking doors before sunset, but it did not help. A girl named Sala opened the door to a knock. It was her father, in the same clothes, with the same voice. He smiled. But she noticed. He did not enter until invited. An hour later, neighbors heard strange sounds, wheezing or singing. They found her in the corner, dirty, in a nightshirt, repeating, "He took my face because he liked mine." The father's body was found in the barn. The real one, dead since morning, long before the knock. Night fell quickly. The wind, once a mere rustle of leaves, turned into a wild howl, as if the mountain itself cried out in pain. In the shrine of the Bloodhorn atop Krokul Ridge, ancient seals, carved by generations of shamans to hold back evil, were broken. The elders gathered in a circle, lifted their drums, and began a ritual to call the spirits of peace. But instead of silence, a roar echoed, and the ground beneath them shook as if Mother Mountain had awoken. One by one, the elders vanished, dissolving into the air. Their faces twisted in horror and awe. The last and oldest chieftain raised his hand to the sky and whispered, "The mountains remember all who cross their bounds, and now demand their price." At dawn, the village was empty. Only ravens circled above a nameless black totem standing in a scorched circle. The wind played with its feathers, and someone seemed to whisper names from the peak.